Welcome everybody to the Upstate Strength Cast presented by the Upstate Fitness Coalition. Today we are at Palmetto State Barbell with Miss Megan Powell, co-owner,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. It's been a busy weekend.
Yeah. So you told me when we came in, you guys were reffing a meet this weekend. How'd that go?
Yeah. So MC Barbell in Asheville, Hendersonville area, they ran a meet every year. They do the Power Mountain Showcase, and they did one this past weekend. It was an amazing meet. It ran so smoothly. It was done in like 4 hours, which is like not
That's
normal
incredible.
for me. And it was 3 flights. They weren't full flights, but there were still 3 flights. And it just went like very smoothly, and we only had one person fail like a squat, so it was like a great day. Nobody got hurt, and it was a great meet. So then we came back here, and then we had to do a full-blown SBD day at the end of the day, reffing a meet. And then we luckily got to take yesterday off and just do admin work, just computer stuff at home. So it ended up being okay. Yeah, it was good. It was a busy weekend, but a good one.
Nice. So we're at Palmetto State Barbell,
Right.
and you guys are recently kind of new to the gym scene here.
Yeah,
New
in
opening.
Greenville. Yeah, so we started out in my early COVID. I had been working for Gold's for 8 years almost, so I had been working there for a while, but my location's closed. Yeah, my location's closed, and I did not want to work anywhere else again. I was like, once you found like the crew you really liked, you don't want to have to try to find it again. So I was just like, okay, well, I have enough clients that want to follow me because they don't have a gym to go to anymore. So we had a bunch of gym equipment at home, and so we just started it out in our garage. Got too big for the garage, so we had to move it to Easley because that was the cheapest place in the area. So I just had to like sacrifice 40 minutes of driving each day.
Jeez.
And then moved. It grew big enough that we were able to move it here, and this space became available, and here we are.
Nice.
Now we opened up. Technically, we opened up in June for our meet. We did a primetime meet in June, but our grand opening was just under a month ago. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Sweet. Go ahead.
That primetime meet was awesome.
It was
that looked
insane.
really cool. Really
It
cool.
was, we keep getting, like, people keep, like, referring to it. Like, the fact that people are still talking about it is like, yeah, it wasn't going to be
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to say, working for Gold's Gym or like a corporate gym for 8 years, that's an impressive feat.
Yeah, really well done.
I went through, like, I think, like, 4 different CEOs of Gold's Gym. Like, they got bought out, like, 4 different times while I had been working for them. So I went through every single, like, transition. Like, I joined right when it was going from The Rush to Gold's Gym. So I joined only a few months after that had happened, and then worked from there. So, yeah.
I know so Gold, like COVID hit a few months later. So Gold's closed the corporate offices, right? Was that?
So they furloughed everybody all across the country. No gyms that were franchise or corporately owned were allowed to be open.
Are some still like around?
Yeah, there are still some that essentially got saved.
Yeah.
So Gold's Gym got bought out. I don't know the specific name of the company, but there's some company in Germany that bought them out. And so now there's fewer locations, but they're able to put more money into like marketing and stuff because of the new company that owns them. But yeah, they closed if you had the Gold's Gym name on your gym, everything was closed
That's
countrywide.
insane.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's insane.
So their corporate could even control their franchisees, like.
It's just because they have to purchase the name.
Oh.
So like they're franchising the name itself. So it's like if it was a
Sure,
Gold's Gym, if they had the franchise, whether it was the name or like a corporately owned, it had to be closed. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I was gonna say I've worked for quite a few different corporate gyms, but I never was there for like more than a year and a half or 2
Right.
years.
And I'm sure you didn't have to fight through a pandemic.
No,
while you
I
worked
know
there.
exactly. Yeah, it was usually like I couldn't stand the way they were selling personal training or you know, just like the processes behind
Right.
it. But so that's impressive though. Seriously.
Yeah, I when I first started with Gold's, it's just crazy how much it changes. I mean, you guys know like the business changes as you grow your own business,
Right.
but like when you're just an employee of a business and you can see it change going from like, oh, I'm paying $25 a session to I'm paying $85 a session. Oh, I'm paying $100 plus a session, and it's like I get 1 hour out of it, you know.
Right.
So it's it's a lot.
And it's definitely like a flip of roles there. You know, like when you're an employee, you're just kind of along for the ride.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't
And
have any
you have
control.
no choice. You have no
And
choice,
at least, you know, now in your position as owner of a gym, you're going to be able to kind of steer your own direction as you guys grow. So, which leads me into my question, you know, Palmetto State Barbell is already kind of developing this new vibe. It's kind of a different kind of culture here, and I like it a lot. Tell me a little bit about like what do you see? What's your vision for what this is becoming?
So it started out, you know, the reason I wanted to open up my own space was because as a female in a gym, you guys have no experience being a female in a gym, but I mean, I'm sure you've heard it. There's just so much harassment that goes on in bigger box gyms, and Gold's Gym is one of the places I've been harassed personally many times in multiple of the locations I worked at. So I wanted to create a space that was completely safe for all men, women, people of color, people on the binary or non-binary scale, LGBTQ. I wanted to make it where it's like you didn't feel unsafe to come and train. You felt educated to come and train. So like you didn't feel like you had to like, shyly ask a question. It's like, no, we want to help you. We want to make you feel safe, and you want to make sure that you know what you're doing, and we want to give you resources to do that. And then it's just a matter of like community. Powerlifting is a community sport. Like when you go to a powerlifting meet, it's just everyone cheering you on to do what you're doing. Even if it's like, you're sandbagging a single at 6 or something. It's like we want you to do well, and we want you to feel good about what you're doing. And so that's the environment and the culture that we've tried to create.
That's awesome.
Here. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think that was like in the corporate environment, that was the thing I think we as trainers saw was like, why aren't you taking care of these issues? And it's funny the things that I can see now. Like I understand why they did it that way,
right.
But it's like, yeah, you have this awesome community that's budding, that's blowing up, that's growing exponentially year over year, and like nobody's capitalizing on making people feel safe, cheer each other on, educate them. I think the fitness world is changing, and a lot of that kind of old school corporate mindset has just been like, no, let's just keep it the same. It's been working. Why would we change? But then you have like, you come along and it's like, no, I can provide this for you guys, and I can educate you.
Right.
I can make you better in every way.
Right, and that was
like,
my biggest issue with goals, is it became down like when they would send out our like goals for the month, because you had each month,
I loved those. Oh my God,
you had to meet with whoever was in charge, your fitness manager or the general manager, whoever you were working with. Is different per gym, but for me it was a fitness manager, and it's like they're just telling me what corporate has told them to tell me. It is not the fitness manager telling me I need to actually bring in this much money, but it came down to a money's game. It's just like you need to bring in X amount of dollars, whether that's from current clients or flipping new people, and it has to be done by the end of the month. And if you don't do it by the end of the month, then we have to reevaluate where your position is going to be here and what you're going to do. And it's not as strict at every single gym, but like, I mean, you've worked at corporate gyms, and it's just like, they have so much money they need you to bring in, and it's like they don't actually need me to bring in that much. It's just to them, they're not people anymore, they're dollar signs. So it's all about like, what can I like take out of the members that we already have, and then bringing in new people, versus like, what can we do with the people we have? How can we help them be better? Because if we're flipping people and the turnover rate is not like matching what we're bringing, it doesn't make sense. It's like, obviously there's something missing, and that's what I think TriFit does really well too. It's just like you build a loyalty and you build a community in, and that's what keeps people there.
I think you nail on the head right there is the retention thing. Like, it's turnover for them, and it was just burn them and turn them. And our retention rate is disgusting, just because we're here to help people. And I think you hit that corporate environment at some point in time, it's just like, we don't care anymore. It's just about dollars. But
and I always had an issue with the 30-minute sessions. Like,
what can you do in 30 minutes?
I worked for a franchise Gold's gym up in like Charlotte, Rock Hill area, and it was, I got it to a certain extent, but after looking at how much the client was actually paid or being paying, I'm like, dude, your $60 is. You could go a lot further.
And that's what, and it's like, I don't promote 30-minute sessions, but like there's some people who they can't afford, no matter how much I'm trying to like work around their budget, it's like they can't afford hour-long sessions 4 times a month. Like they couldn't do it 1 time a week. It's like, okay, well, let's break it up into 2 30-minute sessions a week, just for the sake of like you getting in the gym, because the hardest part is just getting in, right?
That's a good point.
But when it came to Gold, it's like, they were paying $60 a session. I was making like 15 of that. And I was like, what? They're not getting the most out of my time. Because like, if I'm not getting paid a lot, no offense to the people, it's like I want to help the people, but I'm not getting paid enough to help the people.
Exactly. I remember approaching my training manager at the time, and I was like, hey, this person could really use like more help. Like, I'd love to get them an hour session. Well, they didn't offer that. So I was like, well, you could upsell them to 2 30-minute sessions.
They only did 30.
Wow. That franchise model did. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know if there's different rules across different ones, but I was like, something's not right about that. So, but
my best guess is that they just wanted to sell more sessions on their books, so it makes it look like they brought more sessions in, but really it's just who's getting anything out of it.
So as far as with Palmetto State Barbell being open recently, how are things going so far? Like, how
honestly, it's been amazing. I mean, Upstate Coalition has helped a lot, because we had a lot of people who come in and are like, oh, we saw you guys on the TNS page. And
awesome!
So we've had a lot of day passes specifically from that. But really, it's been like we're in a really good location. We got a high school that's just down the road. We're getting high schoolers in here all the time, which is awesome for in some aspects, of course, it's a little tedious.
Right.
But ultimately, it's like we get to help these green kids learn the sport and learn kind of like gym etiquette and like how do you treat your fellow member and how do you treat equipment, how do you respect a gym? Because like if you just go to a Gold's Gym, there's so much money behind Gold's Gym, they can just replace equipment, like it's not as big of a deal. But when you come into like a more local place, it's harder for that. So we teach like the respect, and we're just helping them like learn tips and tricks of like, oh, you don't put chalk on your legs, put baby powder on your legs, that's how the bar goes up smooth. And try not to like let go of the bar at the top of a deadlift, maybe just bring it down. You don't have to like sand it down softly, just bring it down with your hands.
Don't just let go of it.
So it's been nice to bring in, and we want to like do more athletics eventually too. So it's really convenient that we're getting so many high schoolers in.
That's
for
really
that,
great.
So.
That's a great kind of wedge into that door for sure. Another thing too, to kind of back up a little bit, being a woman owning her own gym, kind of starting this, and especially with your experience in the corporate environment, what's something that I guess with your mission that you would like to relate to other women who might be intimidated by, jumping into this?
Well, I think thank God, the culture is changing a lot about strength and women in strength. I've noticed it a lot. I don't know if it's just because I'm now way deeper into the sport, so I see a lot more women doing it. But I feel like even now getting more women coming into the gym for like consultations and stuff, they're just like, oh, I want to get stronger. I just want to get stronger. And it's like, okay, so the goal is no longer like, oh, I want to look a certain way or I want to be a certain weight. Or it's like some people do want to lose weight, but they're like, I'm aware that the scale might not change, but I want to gain some strength. I want the muscle. So the culture's changing already, which is fantastic. And I want that to continue to happen.
Of course.
But when it comes to actual like women in the gym, I think that's why we opened it, is women are afraid to squat really heavy on in a gym because they're afraid some dude's going to come up and touch them and help them spot their weight when it's not what they actually need, and they're going to get harassed and be told, oh, you should not arch your back in a bench press, or you should not do XYZ. So I think with this gym specifically, I think I'm really happy that we have a space where women just want to come in and train, and they've just been coming in and doing their thing, and they can hang out with the guys and not feel like they're being harassed, because that's something we really push, and they can talk to the people who run it and feel like safe and confident and not like judged, because that's the big thing is like, I think, and I felt this way especially in my early days, it's like you just feel judged. It's like especially like the trainers and stuff, you're like, oh my god. I was scarred one time when I was working out. I was like 12 years old. I was working out at the YMCA, and at the time you could only do machines. You couldn't do free weights, like if you were like under 16 or something. Sure. It's like you could only do you can only do machines. And I was doing like a bicep curl thing, and this trainer came over like I was 12, and he made me feel so bad about the way my form was. And I was like, I'm doing exactly what granted, I very well could have been doing it wrong, but like the way he made me feel was like, okay, there had to have been a better way for you to approach it. And so that's luckily, I think, the people and specifically the women coming in here don't feel that way, and they've expressed that they don't, and that makes me really happy that they just feel safe and like confident in the space.
Good. That's awesome. I had something else to piggyback off of that, but it kind of just left my mind. But I think that's great.
There was one thing you touched on there, the culture, like particularly women, and I don't know if I think guys can take a beat out of your book, is like come in and understand that like the scale number is just a number, right? You're here, and I find a lot more girls coming in like, hey, it's whatever, I just want to be a stronger individual. And I think if that mindset could translate to a larger population, which I feel like if you've noticed as well, like I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm getting a lot more people saying like, hey, I just want to get into this, I want to get stronger, I want to perform better, and then just providing a space for that to happen. Like not worrying about doing a bicep curl on a machine. Like honestly, that trainer is just like, how can I sell this person? You know what I mean? This is like, no, if I educate my athletes and empower them to take care of themselves, they will do it. And then I don't have to sit there and worry about a bicep curl on a machine. Like, here's the plan, stick to it, adhere to it, you will get stronger, you'll perform better. And I think that's something TriFit has done really well too, because when we trained there, it was something that's like, I was a very fresh powerlifter when we started there. Super How long were you
fresh.
into it? Because we met back in 2018?
19, because we moved here in 2019. So I think what had happened was I had been training. I'd technically been doing powerlifting training for a while, but I hadn't been competing for a while. But I think at that point it's probably been like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and I'd only competed like one time. So it was like, I was very fresh. It was like super fresh.
Super fresh.
And with that, I never felt like I couldn't ask the questions, like that was something that we felt there.
Yeah.
So if anything, we kind of mimicked that over here.
Well, I love that, like, we're starting, like, I was a trainer, you worked in gyms, you worked in gyms.
Yeah.
I love that, and maybe this has always happened, we're just kind of now in it, that we're starting gyms, and to me, when somebody comes into a gym, and I know this now from being in gyms, the people you want to talk to are like the biggest, meanest, baddest looking people in the gym. Because if you get them talking about, they obviously love what they're doing. And if you get them talking about fitness, they won't shut up. And it was like, I'll tell people when they come in, it's like, do you have any questions? Come ask me because I love talking about this. I'll probably talk your head off. And I feel like when somebody's looking for a gym or a member, they have somebody they can come talk to. And that person's not going to sit there and care about anything else other than, I just want to talk fitness with it. Like, I just want to talk lifting. I just want to make them better.
Well, that's my favorite thing is when we, like, a busier night when everyone's there and they all get to hang out with, like, because Marshall nights, like, and we're just so busy all the time. Like, we're constantly running. He does a full-time job in addition to this. So he and I, like, when we get to, like, hang out with the members, that's the most fun. And we've had a few people who are like, oh my God, it's so great to just, like, talk to you guys.
It's a great feeling, and that's like, we learned that really quick with our Sunday Fun Day events that we do. We try to do them a few times a year, but you get so caught in the rut of what you're doing every day, especially trying to get something off the ground, and you don't realize, like, the people that you're affecting and impacting until you get them all together, and you see it blossom. So it's awesome.
And that's one of the largest reasons I'm like, you need to talk to Jacob. I'm sorry, I probably got like so many people like bugging. I'm just like, you need to talk to Jacob. That dude knows his stuff.
Oh, thank you, man.
He'll talk about it. He'll explain what you need, why you need it, and what's useful.
That means a lot. Yeah.
And you can just see that you have a passion for it. And it's like when I don't know. I think it shines through in our spaces when, like, you have the people that love doing what they're doing and just want to relay that information to them. So. And
I think too, like, something that both of you guys have done a really good job at, as far as the progression of a lifter's, like I guess their age as a lifter, maturity, right? Like the Dunning-Kruger scale in psychology, it's like, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like where you first start, you think you're up here.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are usually like the dudes that are like bowing up. I had this happen yesterday. And like me lifting for 15 years already, I'm like, I don't care if you're bigger than me, bro. I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah.
But like creating an environment that can basically make sure that everybody within that progression of their maturity as a lifter or as a trainer, make sure they feel safe and feel secure and can learn. That's awesome. I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Because, usually from my experience from going to a lot of gyms, if you focus on one thing, like let's just say it's a powerlifting gym, you're only going to see that one type of person in there. And it encompasses only that.
Yeah.
And so it kind of shuts off the lady who wants to come in if it's a hardcore, meathead gym.
Right.
So I just think that's a beautiful thing. So,
yeah.
Speaking on that note, though, I had a few people. We have one of our coaches, her name is Elise. She was in here the other day, and she wanted to hit, I think, 400 before she turned 30, or something like that. Like, she came in and she was like warming up her deadlift. And I had a group of female clients that I was working with, group training, and they were all looking over like, oh my God, that's so cool. And they were like, we all just ended up like stopping the session and just like watching her deadlift. And it's fun because even if it isn't, like, even though we are primarily powerlifting, you can see women who don't powerlift and they do more just like functional style training, and then they're like, oh my God, that looks really fun. I want to do that.
Exactly.
One day I'll do that.
Exactly. I've had so many people, like, somebody will be doing something super heavy in either squat or deadlift, and like my people doing the athletic training will like look over and just be like, okay, I can do that. Like, that looks really cool. I'm like, we can do that. Yeah, absolutely.
And then at the end, like walking over and be like, oh my God, that was so cool.
Exactly.
That was so awesome. And then there's the community, that aspect there, because you get so especially when you're about to do like a 400 pound deadlift, where you're just like so focused on what you're about to do, and then you're done, it's over, and you don't have to worry about it. And then everybody's just like, oh my God, that was so great. And you get the community, so after you're like done being in like tunnel vision for what you're doing, and then the whole community's there to support.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, any other thing you want to add, I guess, to let the listeners know, about you, yourself, Palmetto State Barbell, that you'd like to tell them?
I mean, not necessarily. I think it's. I think we're really excited to be here. We're really excited. We just hit 25 members, and we've only technically been open for just over a month.
That's awesome.
So we're very excited about that. And I'm sure you guys remember the days where we're like, oh, we got another member today. Oh my god!
Girl, more gray hairs have been coming.
Yeah,
Jeez.
and so we're really because we're running a meet in November, which will be really fun for novice lifters. So even if you don't compete, but you're interested in like learning, we have that coming up. So you definitely come and watch. We're just really excited for where we can grow, because we just finished phase 1 of all of our equipment, so now we're gonna just kind of spend the rest of the year, building the membership, and then hopefully going into next year buy some more equipment. And
that's awesome.
We're just really excited to be here.
We're glad to have you in Greenville for sure.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Where can people find you?
So we are on Instagram, Palmetto State Barbell, and then we also have all of our coaches on there as well, so you can follow them. And then the Just Peachy Fitness, which technically owns Palmetto State Barbell because it's my thing. That's Just Peachy Fit.
Okay.
And yeah, we're also on Facebook. Legit though, our Facebook got hacked and we still don't have it back.
Oh no!
All of our stuff is still being shared there. Just don't message us on there.
Yeah, I got you.
And then PalmettoStateBarbell.com for membership info, equipment list, and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody is interested in an amazing gym environment and want to come by and check it out, make sure to thank you guys for listening to the Upstate Streamcast presented by the Upstate Fitness Coalition. Stay tuned for more.
Bye, y'all.